Hello and greetings, everyone. Happy May. Happy day. This is Silver-Quill talking with you on Fulfillment Friday. Been away for a little bit, trying to get back into the swing of things. And, well, it's not as easy as I'd like it to be, but what is? Oh, it's easy to offend people, yes, but I don't like that. So, what you gonna do? Well, I'm just gonna keep on rolling. That's all anyone can do. And so, forgive me as I don't cut right to the chase with showing my art desktop. I need to get a few quotes put together. So, I hope you've all been doing well. I was seeing a few folks in the chat before we started, including Enderpup, Jared Flatbelly Official, Adam Leisman, and Swordbreaker12. MLP Trinary, good to see ya. Mary Drake, and Commodra Steele. And down the list we go to Cosmata Inspira, Elizabeth Snowbell, Lee Shauron, Swordbreaker12, Lunabrony and Ven Pie, Trent Giron. And on the Twitch, we have Cherry Fluffbelly over there as well. I'm doing well, Trent. I hope you are also. And hello, Zapstride Gaming. So, yes, I'm tired. I should come right out and say that I am tired. But not in a bad way. It's been just a lot going on. Allow me to recount the activity. My brother is getting married. Haven't really settled on the time or if there'll even be a full-on ceremony. I think they're looking to keep it just, nice and simple. And Swordbreaker12, I don't know if I'm your senpai, but I do see you. So the week after I got back from BabsCon, we had a wonderful brunch with my brother's future in-laws, which I don't really know what that makes them to me. Is there a term for when you're the brother of the son-in-law? I do not know. But either which way, it was fun. And after that, I had what is essentially the last Saturday I'll get to share with my local friends, Kaiju no Kami and Kuroka Kane. They will be moving to Florida in July. And I will be a little sad to see them go, but it's for their health and for a good future. And plus, distance does not disperse creativity or camaraderie. Whoops. Sorry, I'm also putting together some brainy quotes on creativity. But yes, I will not stop being their friends just because they've moved further away. I'll just be really melodramatic about it. Like super soap opera. Be like, oh, I'm doing just fine over here alone by myself. A mile high and an inch deep. Or some such. But, so that was a harsh realization. But to show that we all still have fun together, they joined me for pre-comic book day at the local Hall of Justice Comics, where I got to see Tom Zahler and get to chat with him for a while. Found out about his creative retreat in France. It sounded quite nice. And so therefore, then we went up to Dacono, where I set up to stream for Low Budget TV the races of the new season. This was all manner of race cars, even a unique crazy train combo where each participant is 3 cars welded together. The front being the driver, the middle being empty, the dummy, and the last being the brakes. It's all kind of crazy. All kinds of the crazy. Now, through all this, I've also just been getting over a sinus infection. In fact, I still think it's trying to linger on in just those, like that little annoying way. Like it doesn't take you out, but just makes everything more of a fest. Yes, including blowing your nose. So that's what happens when you move from sea level to a mile high really fast. Trinary points out maybe I'm a son-in-law second removed? Who knows? Hello, Redamon565. If I wake up in the morning as a hippogriff, one, I just kind of wonder, has everyone else changed or is it just me? Important information. Oh dear, Mary Drake, you think no, thankfully, I was not in the middle of any such car, because if I were, the pain, the loss, it would have been, I saw a car get T-boned. Like one car struck it right in the middle and pushed it off track. And then even though the car that got hit was in first place, it lost a tire and skidded across the asphalt. And that was that. They were out of the race. It is unfortunate. But it's also how racing goes. So therefore, I recorded from the top of a announcer tower where, well, Dacono is just flat. It is flat grassland, and boy howdy does the winds get cold as you advance to the evening. Oh, it's quite chilly. Jaden, I appreciate that you like my voice so much. Anyway, if I did wake up as a hippogriff, I'd have many, many questions. But most important, how do I get out the door? Because I've got wings now and I want to try them out. I mean, one of the things holding me back is the fact that I can't fly. Oh, to soar, to have instant travel across the world without fear of borders or stop signs. And if I fly at mid-altitude, I don't have to worry about those pesky planes. We'll see. We shall see. But no, I'm not terribly sad that Skype is gone. I left that behind a long time ago. I'm afraid I'm very strange. I'm from the generation before the internet was commonplace. So chat groups and instant messaging and all that, foreign concept to me, and I'm actually a little put off by it. I never liked having Skype just open for whenever. And too many people could message me because I was not very creative with my screen name on Skype. Hello, Voice of Reason. Good to have you here, along with General 5 Stars. And I think that's about it. So, and here's Trinary, who is being generous and rewarding me even though I haven't done anything. But I appreciate you, Trinary, always. Just know it's not contingent on your donations. I like you for you. Anywho, so here I am just trying to get back in all this going on. I haven't done a lot of pony stuff. I mean to, but it's just been hard to get in the swing. So I thought, what better way to start coming out swinging than to keep going on the G5 ponies and their bases. Like, I already have Pip Petals in all her short glory. So short. And, well, I've got most of Sunny in her Earth Pony form. Let's keep going with that, eh? But first, I think some music, because as I'm still a little stuffed in the nostrils, it seems, I must keep going. Let's do a little chill EDM courtesy of Pretzel Rocks. If I actually turn up the volume. There we go. And I trust you all will let me know if it's a little too loud. Why is it so loud? Ah, there we are. Small pony is small. Ah, Parker Boots, a friend wanted to commission a ref sheet. So you mean like a turnaround of the G5 ponies or of a different character? Normally I don't allow for audio tracks, but we'll keep that in. Anywho, Sunny. I'm just modifying this one as essentially we're doing Sunny from this angle. No point in having to redraw every little thing. Just gotta make sure all the parts are where they should be, and this annoying little stroke flip.
Unchanged for millions of years.
Oh dear, well, that's too much. Unchanged for millions of years. Late night nuggets, they're called. Uh-oh. Wait, Twitch, I apologize. I think that the titles all come up in the Twitch chat. I don't have a control over that. Hello, Amitiane Lumity. Good to have you here. Good, you've been drawn for like 3 hours? Oh, goodness. Take it easy. Give yourself a break. Why is this thing not moving forward? Ma foi. Yep. YouTube save instrumental. I don't understand pretzels sometime. But, well, I hope you're giving yourself a little breather. Hand exercises are important to avoid cramping up. And I know that sounds like I'm trying to be really juvenile, but no, it's the truth. Ah, yes, Enderpup, you were asking about, apparently there was a Down the Mine pilot? I have not heard of this thing. I mean, I'm just not in it with the Thomas the Tank Engine scene, and that's not because it's unworthy. It's just not my thing. I don't know how I did not get to be a part of it while folks like George Carlin did. George Carlin. I know he's hailed as a great comedian, and I don't doubt that in the slightest, but I don't always share his takes on things, especially his rather bleak outlook on the future. Don't get me wrong, I am painfully aware of the struggles right now, but I don't like to write people off. We'll see what, if anything, does happen. Aside from a new pope. Habemus Popum. Nice to have you here, Pope Man. Ooh, that'd be an interesting hero. Pulpit Man. Not Bible Man, though. They whiffed it with that story. Now then. Down we go. I don't really have a profile shot of Sunny looking that away, do I? Oh, maybe I do. Oh, there it is. Aha. Uh-huh. Come down here, por favor. Let's really look at this. Why am I not getting any music? Here we go. The place. The thing with the place. So I'm curious what, if anything, this new pope will say. Ah, so Thomas the Tank Engine found a lost pilot. That's cool. No, voice. Okay, voice is saying, if the new pope, Leo the 14th, declares Chicago deep dish as the superior pizza, he's switching to Lutheranism. Now, voice, I want you to consider something. Lutherans are a fine and wonderful people, but they have no respect for doors. No one ever talks about the damage Luther did to that door when he nailed up his protests of the Catholic Church. And as far as I know, they have not recanted or made an apology to the door makers of that era. I don't want to see you nailing things to doors if you make it the conversion. I'm just saying. Don't fly off the handle. Yes, tongue punch my fart box. You are on a brony channel. Abandon all hope, all ye who enter here. Also, that I'm wondering if your screen name is in the Karma Sutra. And Enterpup. On the seventh day, God said, "Go Cubs." Oh my goodness, it seems I'm attracting all the musical, it's all music. What is it? They have basically vocals, even though my settings say no vocals on Pretzel. Misty Dolphin, favorite commandment, God needs booze. You know, I'm pretty sure even the Almighty knows how to share a cold one. In fact, here's a question. We did this for our politicians, and it made no sense then. Why not double down on the nonsensical? Which deity would you like to have a beer with? I mean, personally, I'll go with the big G every time. I don't want to have a drink with Quetzalcoatl because that dude, I believe there were blood sacrifices in his name. I don't know. I don't think that's beer he'd be drinking. Not feeling it. Thor, god of booze. And for Enderpup, voice of reason is Dionysus. Parker Boots, well, okay, I don't really consider the princesses gods, but sure, I'd have a beer with Luna anytime. Interesting. And from this angle, you can't see her rainbow streak. Intriguing. Not happy with this curve, though. I mean, she's got hair mane sticking up a little more. Oh, see, I'm so worn out that my brain and my mouth are not working on the same flow. I jumble my words. Oh, it's so sad. Gods can wear a lot of different hats. Neptune was god of the sea and earthquakes. And horses. Wait a minute. Does that mean Neptune was like the world's first brony? He was all about the horses. Think about it. And then let's see, going over. Yep. Alrighty. Good one. Getting hammered with Thor. Well done, Enderpup. Well, Mr. Dolphin, it seems like the Greek and Roman gods are all... They're the same being, but by a different name. Neptune and Poseidon. When I was in high school, took some theology classes. And at first I was always kind of envious of the characters in Greek and Roman mythology because they could actually interact with their gods. It was Christianity is more of a leap of faith. But then I realized that their gods are jerks. Like, they'll turn you into a flower just for giggles. You learn to appreciate what you got. Although that reminds me of a Halo movie. Right about the time Halo Guardians was coming out. And, well, that's its own trauma. So one of the points of the characters were they still believed in the Norse gods and Valhalla. And I was like, wait, as far as I'm aware, that practice isn't happening anymore. I mean, maybe there are a couple of folks who might still practice it, but I'm not aware of anybody really hanging on there. Has anyone else had an alternate experience? It'd be interesting. I'm sure that they appreciate a good mead. Aha. Lumity, I need to check on Blue Sky, which thankfully I have one. All right. The gauntlet she is thrown by Tungy. Wants to know, what is the appeal of My Little Pony? Why would a bunch of adults, or just guys in general, enjoy it? Well, here's the first thing, at least from my point of view, and how I got into this franchise. Way back in the day, I was redacting police reports for the government. Basically, if the police were involved in a court case, you'd want to make sure that their home addresses, family members, all sorts of stuff didn't get out there. And so I was basically redacting a lot of stuff, adding those suspicious black bars you see in like spy movies over documents. And it wasn't a fun experience because, of course, you're reading about some bad stuff that happened in my home state. So when I came home, I didn't need blood and violence entertainment. I didn't need a blockbuster mindless action. I was just looking for something fun. And by word of mouth, mostly in scenes like the abridged series, Rooster Teeth Productions, there was a third one, I'm trying to recall. So everyone was talking about this new My Little Pony show, which was what I didn't watch back in the 80s because Transformers was on. And so I gave it a look over the course of a week, like watched 3 episodes an evening, and it was pretty fun. It was so not what I expected. It's a sad commentary that when you hear about entertainment for girls, you don't get high expectations. But the characters were very enjoyable. The level of humor and action balanced out nicely. It was just very entertaining in a way that normally I don't look for such entertainment. And so therefore, I started looking at the community, which at its height was producing all sorts of music videos, parodies, ponify every pop culture element you could imagine. And I really enjoyed the creativity. It was something I'd never seen in another community. For reference, tried to get involved with the Gundam community for a while, and I was rather disappointed in that all they really seemed interested in making were what they call Franken Gundams. You take the parts of one Gundam from one show and the parts from a Gundam from another show, and you make your own. Granted, that is how Bandai got super wealthy again, selling plastic model kits. So while there's many things in the Brony fandom that I think are inherent to any fandom, including drama, people that really would enhance things by their silence, and people who are amazingly creative, there's also very unique elements, especially just an enjoyment of one series. It's fascinating, having been to so many anime conventions, to go to a brony convention where everyone's celebrating the same show. I find it very fun. Now, granted, the brony fandom is not what it was before. I mean, I would say mid 2010s was the height. And once the current show of that era went by the wayside, you know, it was time. It had 9 seasons. I don't want to Simpsons this beloved show. People moved on to other things. They graduated, they found other interests. I'm still enjoying it. I'm still enjoying the creativity, even without the main show. I want to branch out, as I've been working on other versions of my presenter. But I still enjoy the show, and it is relaxing. There's a certain fun in just making something, and this is good inspiration. Have I, the Big Ben one wants to know if I've ever seen the PM Picnic. I don't think I have. I am not familiar with that arc, or with that comic. Again, apologies. It's been busy times. Today I spent getting a gift ready for Mother's Day. I'm not going to say it because while my parents are rather technophobic and would never find this stream, I also don't want to just loudly blather stuff. I do that just fine on my own, thank you. No, that won't work. So I don't know if that offers a full understanding of the appeal of My Little Pony to an unexpected audience, to be sure. Honestly, it means as much as you want it to mean. Some people have really built a worldview based on the show. Others, it was always just a passing fancy. And neither is exclusively right. Okay, that's not bad. Lumity says they've grown up on MLP since their mom would put it on Netflix to watch while she watched her daughter, and she grew up with the OG MLPs in the 80s. Okay. By sheer virtue of it seemed to be on every time, I definitely saw the My Little Pony movie back in the day. So when Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged quoted the Smooze, I was like Steve Rogers. That I got that reference. But other than that, it just is what it is. Now, I'll say, being a fan of MLP, I managed to learn more about Adobe Illustrator and vectoring, and indeed a lot of multimedia, that I never thought I would. Again, I am part of that generation that all this stuff was newish coming out. It's not like it reinvented the wheel for us, but it also wasn't a given. That's why I get to put on an old man voice whenever I go to convention. You kids today, we didn't have these things growing up. We didn't have streaming. We just had the stream out back. You'd watch the water go by and you'd just get bored. And let's see, here we go. We're gonna change this. Although I guess the central appeal of MLP for me has always been very dynamic, very interesting characters. It's not always a cut and dry, tee-hee, be nice, not mean. And as a result, it appeals to a far wider audience than anyone expected. Perhaps that was one of the fallings of G5. It got a little too simplified in its approach. Whoops. I mean, the villain Opaline, or Opaline, was I liked her eccentricity, but not so much her general approach to things. Just, oh, I'm evil just because. No, I'm just evil. It's like, wow, how interesting. A force of evil may be, you know, just evil for evil's sake. But that force needs to interact on an individual to really make a story. And usually that individual is the one who represents the great struggle in people of making the right choice. Ergo, we have the character of Misty, who I thought was the best part of G5. Now then, let's see, Jasper Pie. Blue Phoenix loves all forms of MLP. The creativity from him is what keeps me hooked on more than the shows. That's good, because for 2025, for some reason I kept wanting to say 2016. For 2025, we're going ponyless on the shows for a bit. Although, I do know of at least one fan who's looking for artists to try and create not a full animation, but still shots of the that are more detailed than the storyboards that were posted online. It's how can I best put it? It's almost like the opposite of, well, Save MLP, which is still a sore spot within the fandom. Basically, instead of waiting for someone else to come and be creative, this person is trying to organize the creativity themselves. Unfortunately, I'm not as well connected with the artists in the fandom as I try to do my own. And so, therefore, I don't know who to recommend. Although I should say that this would be a voluntary effort. It's not paid. I know the excuse isn't, I'll pay you an exposure. That does not work. In fact, if anything, if someone says that, run. Denied. There we go. Now get this a little higher. That doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Here, I'm going to keep you low. Take you higher. I just get into a Nickelback song, but Nickelback's a weird area. I actually like some of their songs, but I've heard of how miserable they can be to both their fans and everything else. Alrighty, little details. Just bring those over here. Boom, boom. Now then, so backtracking to Thomas the Tank Engine. I'm glad that if there's a bit of lost media that is made its way. I mean, that's got to connect to people both who grew up with the show way back in the 80s and now. Although I'm sure there's some things about Thomas that, like, whoa, they actually got away with it back then. Because every show's kind of like that. Oh, good. Voice corrects me that Creed sang "Can You Take Me Higher," not Nickelback. But, sorry, Voice, I need to swing by your channel to see your take on the premieres and finales. I believe it was a ranking. I had thought of a video for Mother's Day, but let's be honest, MLP didn't really give a lot of focus to mothers. It's not like the Disney approach of have a conflict with the mother, or a la Brave. And while we got to see some mothers and their parenting style, it wasn't the main focus. I'm a little sorry that Cadence never got to really flex as a mom. I've learned to be a bit more... I've recognized Cadence's better points thanks to discussion with Brawny and folks. But I am not quite there on like Cadence had the best time. No, they really cheated that character. Something awful. So awful. Here we go. Alrighty, now. Barring minor tweaks down the way, which always happens with my bases, we now must consider a little something something. For anyone who might be watching this stream now or later who doesn't know, the idea here is that Sunny, an Earth Pony, by the end of the movie that premiered their show, she got temporary wings and a horn. So, I mean, arguably all I would have to do is delete the saddle or the side bag and do a couple things with her mane. But that's not enough. Part of what I enjoy about G5 is that they were willing to have characters that with different body profiles. Even G4 was essentially just swap the mane, eyes, and mark of a character. But, man, I swear all these songs have some sort of vocal track in the background. Drive a guy nuts. But G5 was willing to do something different. Case in point, Pip and Sunny are of drastically different height. I mean, if anything, I'm starting to wonder if I made Pip a little too short. But what am I saying? You can never make her too short, haha. Although this solid white background really isn't doing any favors for seeing the wings. That's... maybe it's because it's an older version of Illustrator? Nope. Wait a minute. Okay, good. I realized I never restarted the capture on OBS. In the past, that has undone me. Quite terrible. Transparency and overprint options. No. Right about there. And darker. Okay. Nope, not okay. Wonder what... oh, well. Here we go. Let's just get... green isn't very common in MLP. So I'm just going to throw this behind. Boop. There. Now it's a proper viewing. I mean, I like how Pip has different wings than anyone else. So I'm not just simply going to slap a new set of wings on Sunny. We're going to borrow a little. But for that, we need to look to G4. Also, won't hurt to get some other angles going. Come on. There they are in all their poniness. Here we go. I think Rainbow will provide a good quarter turn back. Whereas Twilight, I'll refine some of this as we go. That's good. So I'm going to give Sunny Twilight's body style when she's in Alicorn mode. And we'll save Rainbow for Sunny's Earth Pony form. Quarter turn back. Whoa, that's kind of weird. There we go. Where did everyone go, Streak Arioso? Well, there's that really annoying, what I would call Dark Age, where apparently all this stuff happened to set the equestrian race back. And we're all left to sort of sit and stew over it. And no, I don't like sitting and stewing. Doesn't really get a lot done. And we'll just make her a little bit taller. Because Alicorn. They're the deluxe model. Although I always loved it, there was a kid's book that promised the origin of Cadence, so I read it in about 20 minutes. And what did she say? How did they describe Twilight? She had the grand magic of a unicorn, the powerful wings of a Pegasus, and the good heart of an Earth pony. And I just thought, the good heart? I'm sorry, but your compliment to Earth ponies is that they have a great personality? I mean, that's just harsh. So harsh. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna go to it. I'm getting kind of tired of these voices in the background. Let's try lo-fi. Maybe chill EDM is just meant to have that kind of stuff. And if that doesn't work, I'll go with metal, because then at least no one will know what the hell they're saying. I know this from watching Metalocalypse. Nope, sorry, Streak Arioso. All they said was, oh, you've got a great heart. It was, I think, the most subtle diss I've ever heard before. Yep, boop, boop, boop. And what's going on here? There's a little mystery. There should be some form of a mask. There it is. Bam. There we go. Boom, boom. Ah, nope. Leave the horn. Oh, I'm curious. How many people have seen Death of a Unicorn? In fact, you know what? That's a great poll to start on YouTube. Let me just hop on over there real quick. I will engage with a poll. Have you seen Death of a Unicorn? Just let me know. We'll see what everybody has to say. Swordsman 12, your first fanfic was a Spider-Man crossover. Well, that could be a lot of fun. I mean, Spidey is my favorite Marvel. Oh, forget that. He's my favorite comic book character. Which is why every choice they seem to be making these days really makes me sad. Like, the movies are great, and I can totally... Good Lord, what happened to her eyelashes? The movies are great, video games are great, but for somehow, the comic books, the thing that started it all, just seem to be trying to make people angry now. I'm sure everyone has heard of the Paul debacle. Or, if not, well, there's a guy named Paul, and all of the Spider-Man fans hate him. Yet Marvel seems to pull him out just to remind everyone that he exists and that he's, well, he's there. Meanwhile, Ultimate Spider-Man, which actually gives Spidey a happy life with a family, is going great guns. It's actually their most popular. Hello, Crash Bandicoot Edward 469. You've been playing Arkham Asylum. Nice. Now, let's just take a quick look through the chat here. Now, okay, Streak Arioso, you say that someone put forth the theory that Sunny has autism. How can I best describe this? I'm not a fan of diagnosing the main characters, not because I don't want representation, but rather people make this assertion and in the context of this is why they need to change or be fixed. This is what's wrong with them. And really, I'd rather people say, okay, these characteristics can be seen as autistic because this is some of the behavior. Use it as a moment to understand and educate rather than just give people, well, this is why they are the way they are. Yeah, wow. How did I change all this? Select same stroke weights. Well, that didn't work. There we go. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. They're all the same profile. Why do I have to flip them individually? What madness. What fools these pony vectors be. There we go. See, little adjustments and fixes all the time. All the way through. All right. That makes sense, Lumity. Casually, Coda is possibly autistic because of insert reason, while also partially sensing it as a person on the spectrum yourself. Yeah, that works. My problem was, at least early on, people always seemed to be diagnosing the main characters to say this is what needs to change, and that's not the right way. I don't think that's the right way to go about it. Another wrinkle. Apparently I wasn't using the same color of purple for all the Twilights. So like, same fill color. Let's get this all on the same field, shall we? Sorry, I just felt my phone vibrate. Nothing big. Streak, I'm a little confused by your comment. Doesn't make you relate to any less to Sunny when Comet reorganized her smoothie stand. Oh, I remember that. Hated when personal flow gets knocked off. Yes. Well, reorganizing someone else's setup, even if it seems chaotic to everyone else, it makes sense to the owner. You don't do that. It's a bad call. So I'm with you on that one. It's like with Rarity and her organized chaos. It may look wrong, but it's her home. Oh, no, I'm not quite sure I got the right color. All right, let's see if we can't. So same fill color. Yep, I got the wrong one. Let's try to fix this. Here we go. Here we go. It's true. I'm with you, Lumity. I was disappointed when it just seemed to keep happening. But there was a really good video of all things Yu-Gi-Oh! Vrains. Always loved Little Karibo's take. Such a silly name. But Vrains, a person looked at the behavior of the characters and didn't diagnose them, but explained why these traits could be seen as autistic, including organizational styles, the listing of reasons, all manner of things, but not just flat out saying, oh, they're autistic. Doesn't really help. Blue Griffin Azoro, wondering if the phrase organized chaos gives Discord an aneurysm. I don't know. Honestly, it'd be kind of funny if he took Rarity to court over that. She is slandering the good name of chaos. Then get Tabitha St. Germain to voice saying, "'Tis a lie." Whoops, sorry, wrong character. Now then. Wait, what? Honestly, I'll just leave the horns as they are. Professional pessimist. Thank you for following. Although I gotta say, that's a tough profession. Alrighty. Good, let's save on both these files because I do not want to have to go back and tackle that minutia. Liberty, you gotta go. I will catch you next time. Have a good one. Ooh, I'm looking at the poll right now. 96% of the voters, which is 24 votes in total, so I'm guessing like, what, 22, 23 people have not seen Death of a Unicorn. Honestly, I don't think you missed anything. I did see it because I was curious. But, man, how do I even describe the disappointment? It was serviceable. It was fine, but it wasn't, like, great. More than anything, I started wondering part of the way through, what's the difference between a trope and a cliche? Because also, curiously, I watched Yahtzee's review for Second Wind this week on something called The Blueprints. And even he pulled the old appeal to novelty fallacy, that it only has value if it's brand new. But that is not truly the case, at least not in my opinion. Which is an opinion I trust. Now, come with me, dear viewer, as we look for screenshots of Alicorn Sunny. Sunny Star Scout, Alicorn screenshot, A New Generation. Here we go. Happy Earth Day. Despite the A New Generation, they seem to be doing lots of stuff. This is weird. Okay, trying to do a human Sunny. I need a shot of Alicorn Sunny mit domain. Come on, work with me here. Work with me. Nope. Okay, that'll work. I'll take it. Image file. There we go. How instantly. By the by, just looking at this screenshot, doesn't it look like Sunny is actually having a pollen attack? Good Lord, that, or she's trying to eat something. You know what? I'm just gonna download this and like try to have some images of scared characters in the corner. See if I can get a meme going. Whoop, and there's that. Blue Griffin, still on the fence about G5 ships. Torn between Sunny Hitch and Zip and Hitch. or Pippin Hitch. Sonny has a lot of history with him, but he and Zip have pretty good chemistry. It's true. It's true. It's not always clear. Shipping can bring up interesting questions. Case in point, Sailor Moon. Who remembers that? That was... How can I put that? You weren't necessarily a brony in the making for liking Sailor Moon, but I'd be lying if I said I didn't see some parallels. But more than anything, I'm just thinking, there was that episode that literally asked, can a boy and a girl just be friends? And then I would see all of these fanfics of the characters from that episode in a romance, and I thought, well, then are we saying the answer is no? Or is that even fair? Quick preview. There we go. Oh man, it saved it as a TIFF file? That's just eating up space. Boo. Alrighty, Sonny, let's see what we can make you a bit more Alicorn wavy. And let's also not lose track of our good folks in the chat. Streakario, so let's be fair. There are plenty of anime and other media where the cool transformation, even the villains understand the rule of cool. You just let it happen. Don't fight it. Oh gosh, what are those doing there? Let's get rid of you. Oh, I see. That was its own reference. Oh, then I shouldn't delete it. Love and Sailor Moon. Really like Sailor Moon. Haha, that cousin thing. Oh dear. Yes, Michelle Miller, I was aware of the whole cousins approach. I mean, wow. On the one hand, I kind of applaud that they could come up with such a justification to avoid any sort of issue. But at the same time, I just thought to myself, wow, really? I mean, really? Alrighty, Sonny, let's start working on that there horn. With the wings. Horn with the wings and the things. It's so glowy, it's really hard to get anything out of it. But here, we need a few more things. Although there's a question, if her mane changes, if her body changes, does not her mane also grow? Let's find out. All right, first clarification. Man, the computer's really struggling now. How far down does that... Yeah, it goes a little further than originally thought. 2 reams. Yep. But we're going to make it a little different. Just a little different. Yes, America did try to change an awful lot about Sailor Moon. Not all of it were a worthy change. I think I'll name the worst change I can remember. There's an episode where, to trick the bad guys, all the sailors act like they're enemies or that they're attacking Sailor Moon. Now, while most of the team is having second thoughts about this, Mars is totally going for it. And because of that, Sailor Moon trusts her with the wand she uses for the final attack. But in the end, Mars drops the charade because she can't see her friend suffer. In the dub, they made it look like Mars stole that item, just to make sure everything went the same way. That's such a drastic change in characterization and relationships. I just thought, wow, why would you do that? That was a terrible idea. All kinds awkward. Alicia Run, I know about Cardcaptor Sakura. I mostly enjoyed the manga. The anime, it had to add a lot of stuff just to, pad things out. And then, boy, when it hit US shores, no thank you. They tried to make it Card Captors and somehow not tackle the myriad of issues presented, including that Lee had a crush on a guy as well as a girl, that one student who had a crush on her teacher was now definitely afraid of her teacher. All manner of things. All this, and so I wasn't surprised that Card Captors came and went from the US Airways with little celebration, if I remember right. Oh, now Men in Black. Oh, honestly, that might be a cartoon that surpassed the movie that spawned it, kind of like Stargate SG-1. I mean, you could do so much more. So much more with Agents J and K. And then if we talk about Men in Black 2, which I really don't want to, you realize they did it even better. Men in Black 2, what a heartbreaker that was. Don't get me wrong, there were some funny scenes, but by and large, I got the impression they were just recycling the jokes. At which point, really, I think the mistake was we have to bring Tommy Lee Jones back in. No, you don't. His story was done. He'd done it admirably. A well-earned retirement. But no, they were all like, no, we can't have a movie without Tommy Lee Jones. Let's have him divorce the girl he loved from afar for so many years. God, now I'm just getting bitter just summarizing it. Didn't see Godzilla the Animated Series, Komodo Steel, but my friend Kaiju, he liked it. He thought it was way, way, way better than the movie. And I'll give him that. Not Kaiju, the Godzilla the Animated Series. The original movie with That's a Lot of Fish is not a high bar to clear, but when you're looking for a win, don't turn your nose up. There we go. The big guy in Rusty Swordbreaker. Oh, yes. I remember that one rather fondly. Same studio, I believe, that did Men in Black, the series. And yes, I did watch the Super Mario Brothers Super Show. Or, as they tried to get in with the hip young crowd, Club Mario. God, who here actually remembers Club Mario? There we go. All right, this is not quite the alicornification we need, but we'll get there. Oh, Komodo, don't you pull that on me. I'm in my 40s, so I can appreciate feeling old, but if we want to have an Olaf, I'll win. Let's just put it that way. I'll win. But back then, that was the only time you could really get a sort of Mario story. I mean, let's be honest, we didn't play Super Mario or Super Mario 2 for the in-depth story. It was, well, there were very few games that could provide that level of stories, like a RPG or Ninja Gaiden. At least Ninja Gaiden was one of the first games to have cutscenes. So watching a Super Mario cartoon or even that Zelda with the "Excuse me, princess," oh boy, there's some memories. I'd actually get anxious as the week went on. They'd give these previews from Legend of Zelda because they'd only show a snippet and they only showed episodes from it on Fridays. So then, of course, you had to be there because they showed you the greatest, what was it? Basically the cliffhangers. Uh-oh. Mary Drake, now we're all competing for who's oldest. Let's see. Let's go with a little don't like this. No vocals. It's really all I want. No vocals. And even though I have those settings highlighted, it's just not working with me. Now I'm going to merge these two sections because Sunny's new do seems to merge them. I wonder if they would have updated Sunny's style as things went on and she became more familiar with her powers. But then I also think of the difficulties they had just with rigging, as Minty Root has expertly pointed out in different panels. Essentially, everything that was set up to work in the movie doesn't necessarily work in a TV show. There's a lot of things that these characters just weren't set up to do, and there wasn't time or budget to make those corrections. So people will say, "Oh, G5 killed My Little Pony." No, I'd say hobbling killed G5. Whether or not we'll move beyond that, I don't know. I'd like it, but it's also okay. I feel like merging these two as well. What will happen? Well, they're there. I see. Let's just boop. Excellent. 1, 2, 3. This is draw inside the shape, by the by. Which gives me the power to draw as I please, but anything outside of the shape's boundaries is invisible. Here we go. Now, what else has been going on in the great wide world? I mean, I talked about our new Pope. Don't know what his stance will be. I mean, power can change a person. But I am hopeful. Tariffs are still a very real concern, I'm sure, for many vendors, but also just, well, people who are looking to be creative. It's hard to operate when the means of production are now denied. Good evening, Amethyst Majesty 25. Good to have you here. Kenisu Dragons, I too would have welcomed a second G5 movie. Enderpop wants to know, why y'all boomers? Because we want to know are things okay? And Elizabeth Snowbell, your birthday is in July, so you're coming up. Be here before we know it, which... again, for me, that means my friends moving away make me so sad. I'd be so sad. Also, I might not be streaming that week, the week of the 21st, as, well, I'm helping them move. Alrighty. Well, it's certainly more, shall we say, voluminous. Voluminous? How does one properly say that? Voluminous, I think. But, not a big fan of the layering here. Let's get you up. Whoa. Better yet, let's get that leg down. Come on. Oh, there you go. That was kind of weird. Now then, Sunny. Look on the sunny side. Always on the sunny side. We need to make this work with the mane. Should work on some flowing shots for her mane, you know? But we'll get there in time. This is all part of the details. Again, my goal here is to have sort of a compromise between make your mark, tell your tale, and G4, which is the style I've worked so much on, I see no reason to abandon it willy-nilly, especially if I'd like to draw a crossover with these characters. Whoa. Let's see. Let's add back that magenta streak. Actually, wait. This is all these screenshots can drive me a little bonkers. See, technically there's red in Sunny's mane. In Make Your Mark. Or it looks red, but it's actually orange. So really this magenta-like highlight is Sunny's... Boy, talk about confusing. Ma foi. So much detail, not always a lot of clarity. Anywho. So let's see what everybody in the chit chat has to say. Minor size shifting. It's true Enderpup, I was bonkers to begin with, but I believe I can qualify for double platinum bonkers at some point. So hang on, what were those sunny colors? Huh. Blue, yellow, and orange. Well, that's a bit of a bother. A wee bit, a skosh. Let's see what we can do to correct all that. Save. All right, select same color. We'll make you that blue. Hey. Said select the same color. That was everything. There we go. Then orange is supposed to be more of a yellow? Okay. And then this red is supposed to be more orange. Honestly, a part of me is surprised they didn't try to make her more of a Rainbow Dash color scheme. I mean, you know, I think a Rainbow Dash would have some complaints, but would certainly be different, eh? See, way more saturated in that shot. Oh well. Whoops. What happened to... What was this, like draw inside? Ah, no wonder. All right, so I'll fix you first. Oh, that too, geez. My own cleverness, it works against me. All right, what's the color value on this? Come on now, don't be difficult. I've never seen an Illustrator color play hard to get. Here we go. Okay. Now then. Select the same fill color. Better, much better. Okay. So that solves that little problem. Hello, Minty2 Star Clan. Huh. Did anyone wake up at 6 a.m. on Wednesday for the first time? 4 hours of sleep. Oh dear, you were only on 4 hours of sleep. You know, I woke up early today with some stomach trouble, but I can't claim anything more than that. Now, you know what's funny? Sunny does not have any rainbows in her tail. How strange. Actually, gosh, I didn't give her any color variants in her tail, period. That's not good. That will not do. No, sir. Oh, but what's this? What's this? There's a color in here. so what if I make you this color? There we go. And I'll just make these three this color. And I'll you a different color. How instantly? Much better. I think I heard something fall just now. If you think that Minty Chew points out that, isn't it strange? A pony can be born into a different tribe, i.e., like Pound and Pumpkin. And that's true. They never really address that. At some point, everyone's carrying a little bit more of another pony's gene. So even if you're totally not on board with those darn weird Pegasuses, you may have a little Pegasus blood in you. But, you know, that honestly ties in with the more racial themed aspects of G5. Including the terrible, shall we say, blind spot. Oh, someone's talking about Holmes. Are we talking about the BBC Cosmina Inspira? The one with Benedict Cumberbatch as the good old Sherlock? Yes, Kenisu, the pony primordial stew. Well, like I said earlier, it's good to not just sit and stew about things. Tee hee hee. Okay, so I don't know if this horn... Alright, let's give this a go. Give me a shade of orange that I can use. We'll round out these corners shortly and forthwith. Here we go. Much better. What also happened with the descendants of Alicorns? Well, as far as I know, Flurry is the only natural descendant of an Alicorn, unless Luna and Celestia found new loves after retirement. Which they might very well have. I'm not ruling. I'm not stopping anyone's fanfic. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Let's see about something. Now I have to make this difference. I can't do draw within the circle or draw within the shape. God, I can't talk today. Fumbled my words even while going to an engraver. It's very annoying. I don't like it when I can't trust my own, well, speech. Also, I'm just going to share this because it was so bizarre. Coming out of a Target, getting in my car. Slate next to me is like, great parking job. And she says it again as I'm leaving because I think she wants me to know how mad she is. And I look, I'm parked pretty much in the middle of the parking lane, you know, stay within the lines. this lady is parked pretty far to the left, so I think she was having trouble getting out. And it was more convenient to blame me and my parking job than her own. I'm like, I just thought, lady, you parked yourself this way. I can't help you. Don't get mad at me because you didn't park very well. People can be so weird about what they want to fight about. Personally, I think it's just a sign of how emotionally exhausted we all are. Every week has several moments of, wait, what? And of course, the subsequent fallout. So yeah, I can't blame anyone for being temperamental, but I think we need to sometimes step back and just ask, what am I really mad about? And about rare collectibles. I got the Discord Fluttershy collectible of their figures and Discord on his throne. That one was pretty good. I don't know how rare, though. I'm not talking about super rare. Actually, I'm a little anxious. Tomorrow, I'm supposed to get a shipment of a third-party Transformer, Hotspot. But not too long ago, a porch pirate made off with an Amazon order, so I'm hoping that I'll either be home to receive it or it's not as quick a delivery as they're saying.
But it's not a thing about making it accurate.
What the?
It's a thing about making it feel right.
Embrace your mistakes, but I'm sorry, no talkie. Though that is an interesting point. Sometimes emotions are more important to foster than accuracy. But there's also a point where it feels like you're betraying what you're trying to present. One of my thoughts is when there was a Call of Duty set in World War II, a character in the story had a prosthetic hand while fighting, or was it a prosthetic leg? I forget. But she was duking it out with Nazis left and right, hardly impeded, it seemed like. And I understand, yeah, you want to have a badass character, but those prosthetics back then wouldn't have allowed for that level. It feels like now you're starting to push too hard on the emotion. Now, if you really want the character to be badass, you don't have to add a prosthesis. Now, according to history, there were people, of course, who did serve in the resistance, but usually as couriers who had a prosthesis. Their goal was not combat, they were getting things to and fro, hopefully undetected. Whoops. There we go. Effect blur, Gaussian blur. Just a small blur. That doesn't work. I guess that might? We'll see. There's going to be one final bit here. Group it up. Effect blur, Gaussian blur. And then a few Celestia-like sparkles. Let's see. Pokemon Fire Eevee points out that G5 felt like it was meant to be a new story, but wanted to connect to G4. Dragons being born with wings was a thing in older generations. Oh yeah, so Zapstride Gaming was confused by Sparky was born with wings, when in G4 they said they gained wings upon molting. Yeah, unfortunately that's one of the lesser inconsistencies. Let's change the... Oh. That's interesting. I guess that just blurred the group. That's okay. Yes, Celestia likes sparkles. We do this. We do this. Selection. Let's align them. There we go. There we go. Instantly. Opacity, there you are. Let's try hard light. Oh, wow. Maybe not. That's too much. 50% opacity? Maybe 70%. Effects glow. Crop marks, distort and transform. Where are you at? Blurs. Outer glow. Divide that by 2. And let's divide that by 2 again. There we go. Alrighty, it took more time than I expected. There we go, it's there, but not quite as visible. Although I'm wondering something. Gonna try cropping these out. Yeah, maybe some of the lines I'll do as a separate blur. There we go. At least the symbols need to be visible. Yep, music with words again. I'm really getting tired of this. Let's change things up. Try to go with EDMs. Happy EDMs. Oh my god. Usually so good at this, I don't understand. It's madness, I tell you, folks. Madness. Okay. Now, this will be interesting. How shall we tackle one of Sunny's wings? Let's try a little something. I'm gonna let this slide because, well, it's not really saying words, but I kind of hear a voice in it. Okay, we're looking good. Now you feeling sleepy, Enderpup? Well, hopefully I'm not boring you all to tears. I've enjoyed this chance just to vector for a little bit and chat up with people, travel down memory lane, even describing why I got into this show in the first place. Alrighty, starting to look pretty good. Swordbreaker 12, I remember Reboot and Beast Wars actually had like two of the best villains I've ever seen in entertainment. Megabyte and Beast Wars Megatron really brought some changes I never expected. They elevated above what everyone, I think, would have assumed was just a Saturday morning cartoon villain. Yep. Oh, yes. Megatron's, yes. Who do I think is Sparky's mom, Komodo Steel? Well, there's always the question. He's apparently more magical than Spike, who was hatched by a magic, which is really does not narrow things down very well. I think it'd be hilarious if he was a descendant of Ember. But she spent so much time acclimating dragons to the idea of friendship and working with ponies, she, well, vicariously assimilated, or like through osmosis. But I'm not sure who I would deign to give the role, or even how that egg got there. Hell, how did Celestia get Spike's eggs? All these things are grand mysteries of the unknown. No one knows. Where do baby dragons come from? Plus the grand humor of Fluttershy asking Ember, are all these yours? Boy, the blush on Ember. Okay. So, we're gonna take all this. I've got... Whoop. Maybe I don't. Oh, trats. So yeah, we're not gonna do what I just did, because that would make me cry. There we go. Let's try this again. Copy. Unite. Okay, good. Now this one we're just connecting where the wings should touch to create an outline shape. Perfect. Well, almost perfect. Get rid of you. Okay. So we want... We want this. Then this. With a little bit of this. And then we need to change the angle. Wait, no, this is not right. We want the light to be there. Yeah. Okay. Keep saying change the angle. Why do you not change the angle with me? Work with me, you silly computer. Okay. So we put that right there, and on top of it, the original, which I will make, this one I will make hard light. And let's say 70% again. All right, let's see. Oh yes, I forgot to blur. I don't know. I am uncertain. Let's make you 50%. There you go. 75. I don't know, folks. What do you think? It looks... Well, you certainly tell it's meant to be wings, but it's much more, shall we say, semi-transparent, translucent? Oh, God. Komodo Steel points out that Tiamat could be Sparky's mother, and if those who don't know, in Dungeons & Dragons, Tiamat is a 5-headed dragon of evil. Definitely not someone you'd want to get on your bad side, so if that were the case, don't mess with her kid. Oh, hang on, I put those wings on the wrong Sunny. Heh, how silly of me. Here they come. Coming down. I think. Yep, there they are. Started worrying me there. Oh, the mother of Spike, Kamoja says. A bit less blur, Cosmo Inspiro suggests. It's a good idea. Let's see if the appearances for both. Let's try 1.5 pixels, not 10.5. Oh my goodness. Maybe also a different color setting. Rather than hard light, what about vivid lights? Color burn? Yeah, color burn could work. Lighten? No. Overlay difference. I thought there was... no. So many choices. Color burn. Ooh, there we go. I think that looks a little bit better. Maybe if I add some more sparkles to it. A sparkle, sparkle, sparkle. There we go. I think we've got our Alicorn Sunny Bunny Honey. Pokemon Fire Eevee points out... it was never rehatched until a newborn Alicorn comes. Okay, that makes sense. Pokemon Fire Eevee points out that Tiamat was the goddess of the ocean, and Sparky was found by the ocean. I think I would also like to experiment with with her fetlocks. I mean, here's a crazy idea, just to further explain what I'm thinking. Right now, I've got these, but what would happen if I changed it so the fetlocks were actually more of a heart shape? No, because then it wouldn't really look like a heart anyway. So let's leave those as they are. I am wondering about the fetlocks, though. Maybe I should take away some of the shaggy look, as an Alicorn is usually sleeker, more elegant. Let's just do a little experiment here. This is the glory of undo. Interesting. Actually, here I will try for a heart influence. And then we just... Oh, don't know what that's all about. This is a little harder because the strokes on the legs are now different style than the fetlock strokes. Here we go. There we go. I think that could work. Alrighty. I gotta say, I've been a little disappointed by Pretzel tonight. When you say I want tracks without vocals, but they still find a way to put it in there, vexing. You'll task me. But Enderpup, have a good night's rest. We'll catch you next time. Thanks much. And then there's Baka 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 Boy. Good to see you. Well, glad to have you following again, or at least swinging by for a hello. It's good to see you. I'm not much longer for the day myself. I figure I've got to get some file transfers going for the racetrack folks and make some dinner, but then go sleepy time so I can have my energy for mañana. And I will get back into the swing of things with videos and whatnot, especially the whatnot. Because, as I've said, My Little Pony, it's fun, even when there isn't a show immediately present. We can still celebrate good times, because good storytelling does not have an expiration date. But I hope all of you are having fun times. And, well, also I can appreciate it if you're not. We'll see what all goes on in this crazy world of ours. But just know, I'm rooting for you. There are a lot of people rooting for you, in fact. So please do not give up on the hope. And with that, I think I might call it good just a little bit early, as all that's left of this version of Sunny, at least this version I'm putting forth, is to change up the fetlocks a little. See how that goes. I mean, these fetlocks are a different style. 2.4. Okay. 2.4. Excellent. So, any which way, I hope that this is going to be a fun weekend for y'all. Whatever you do, I'm hoping you're doing it with folks you enjoy, or just enjoying a little quiet time, a little personal time. Oh yes, and I should end the poll as the final results of the death of the unicorn, ma foi, 92% said no, 7% said yes. I don't know where the remaining 1% winds up. But with 54 votes, I'm sure someone can explain the math to me. I just know it's not me. But anywho, until the next time, everyone, I just wish you the best, and I will catch you again soon. Until then, be safe and be well. I'm Silver-Quill.